let's start with a game that I watched earlier today, and that is Ross County 0, St Johnstone 1. So a huge result in terms of, are Ross County capable of making this, of pulling away from, well, they've already away from Livingston, but you know what I mean, like staying close to Motherwell, staying close to St Johnstone, meaning that there's at least going to be a battle for that relegation playoff spot. And obviously a lot of people, I done the podcast with you the other day, not really liking a lot of County's January window, their form under Derek Adams, what Derek Adams has been saying after games. So this was a big match for them to get something, and they didn't. They were beaten 1-0 by St Johnstone. Benjamin Kipoeka scoring just over 10 minutes before halftime with some woeful defending from Will Nightingale. And yeah, Tony.
Will Nightingale didn't sort of bank on this striker turning into Thierry Henry as he waltzed in.
I know,
because I would say
he was also helped out. He was helped out a bit by Ayinya as well, who should have just showed him on his outside and dared him to beat the goalie at a tight angle with his left foot instead of allowing him to cut back in and find the far corner. It was a nice finish, but he was kind of helped. He was able to make up his mind a bit easier thanks to that shit defending.
To be fair to the big man, though, I mean, I wouldn't be banking on a lot of strikers picking up the ball from that era wide and going in and scoring a goal. To be fair to him, I wouldn't be banking on a lot in the Scottish Premiership.
Especially
so it was quite the announcement for the big man.
Yeah, so I've watched this game. I think the most interesting thing about this game, it did have quite a really kind of interesting tactical wrinkle in it, which was that Graham Carey started as a number 6 for St Johnstone and played there the entire game. So it was Carey sitting. So Phillips was out, Smith was out, Sprangler was on the bench and stayed there for the 90 minutes. So it was Carey with Connor Smith and Max Kucheravi ahead of him. So very kind of lightweight midfield. Now, St Johnstone got the result they were after. They were, I think County shaded it in the first half, but St Johnstone had definitely had chances of themselves. You could see, I'll get onto it, but I did think overall this was potentially a case of the operation being a mistake, but the patient living. It's like the opposite to when a manager gets his tactics spotted, but they still manage to lose a game.
You've woke up with your right arm now as your left arm, and it's not working properly.
And there's probably benefits to that we don't know.
Yeah.
Nobody's done it.
Yeah. Well, you can make it feel when you're wanking, it feels like someone else is doing it.
You can open doors without facing them. That's fine.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, that's something that people want to do, apparently.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it did work in some respect. St Johnstone fans listening will probably say what you're talking about, because Carey, so the chances that they had in the first half, so the Connor Smith kind of had a chance, and that goes back to brief tangent. That goes back to something I was saying with you, and I think they've signed Connor Smith because he showed, not at Tynecastle, but he showed elsewhere that he could be a goal-scoring central midfielder. And St Johnstone are crying out for a goal-scoring central midfielder. He did get in the box and had a chance. And do you know what? I don't think Connor Smith is quite good enough yet to play at this level consistently, but he did have a decent game. So that kind of bodes well. Maybe I'm talking shite on that one. But with Carey, so he creates a chance for Tony Gallagher, when Gallagher takes a really nice first touch, but then on his right foot puts it over the bar, and then he makes the goal for Kikweka as well. Obviously, Nightingale playing a huge part in that. So in one respect, the work in Carey did have a good game with the ball. However, I think County still had County didn't have many good chances, but they had loads of opportunities around the penalty area to make something happen. And St Johnstone, to me, especially for the first 60 minutes, St Johnstone looked very easily to play against, with County just kind of going through the middle of them. Mm-hmm. I'll get on to talking about Yan Dhanda in a minute, but he, first half in particular, had a lot of the ball. Then Levine changed it. He still kept on the same midfield 3, but he brought in 2 forwards. If you only looked at this game on Google, you wouldn't know who one of the forwards was, because Google just literally has a blank space beside his name, and it's got sub-made. It's just a blank space, like coming on. Kikweka coming off, forward. Blank space coming on. Yeah, it was Adamas Sidibe who came on for his debut. And so he went up front, and Nicky Clark came on at the same time, and he went 3-5-2. And that nullified County a bit more. They still had the kind of lightweight midfield, but it just shrunk the space a little bit and meant that when County going in and around the box, it was 3 centre-half to deal with instead of 2. And I thought that McGowan and Andrew Considine in particular had very good games. And then County just ran out of ideas, really. Ran out of steam a bit, ran out of ideas. The last 50 minutes for St Johnstone, considering how the rest of the half had gone, were very easy, very comfortable. Sidibe, after I thought he looked shit for the first 10 minutes or so, but then I think he got used to what was a bit of a bobbly pitch and was quite good at keeping the ball and running it into the corners and just kind of wasted time. Connor Smith done that a couple of times as well. And yeah, by the end of the match, overall, County didn't deserve to lose this. But by the end, they looked kind of bereft.
Mm-hmm. It's starting to look like it's a feature of Craig Levine's time at St Johnstone in terms of moving people round position. Obviously, Jaisimi being used as the sort of nominal striker. And he done another one in this game that I was going to ask you about, because like Gallagher was used as a proper winger in this game, playing like as a left winger. How did that go?
I mean, it was all right. Like, he did get that chance and he got forward a bit. I think they would much rather have just a normal out-and-out winger there. I know he's kind of seen as an attack-minded fullback, but I mean...
Still not the same, because coming from deep with the ball is very different than taking the ball, because wingers quite often still take the ball with their back to the goal, and they have to do turns and step overs, blah, 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 to create space for themselves, which you don't really have to do as a fullback often.
They were the players that didn't really do that much in the game. Gallagher on one side, it was Franzak on the other, with Franzak went to wing back in the second half when Keltjens was forced off, and they brought in Oyufunwa. First time we've seen him in a while, and there's another player we'll get on to soon when we talk about the Killie Motherwell game, if I remember to talk about him, is somebody who looked kind of useless at the start of the season. He didn't look out of place, so maybe it's just he was kind of already written off as a bad signing, along with a few of the guys that St Johnstone under Steve McLean brought up from England. But he was, I mean, we knew that before he arrived. He barely played any competitive football, and he just looked raw as fuck. And so maybe just a case of him needing a bit of time to adjust. But I thought that was interesting. He came off the bench and done with
And with Keltjens was playing, is that how you pronounce his name?
I don't know. Keltjens, whatever.
He got hooked at half time. Was that injury, or did he get?
I'm not entirely sure. I don't think he played badly. I don't think he played necessarily badly enough. Murray was drifting out to that side quite a bit and was getting a little bit of joy, but not like he was like ripping him all the time. So I would have been a bit surprised if it was a proper right. You've been absolutely useless. Get off. But
yeah, Murray didn't get the same joy as he got during the week against Livingston, where he was having what looked like a fucking riot. But right, Dhanda then. Talk to me.
Aye. So Dhanda got a lot of the ball in the first half in particular. Second half, not an awful lot. They crowded him out a little bit more. He didn't have really much of an impact. And so he created probably the biggest chance. There's two big chances in the first half for County. One was Dhanda himself, where he done well. He played the through ball for Murray. It was just intercepted, but then Dhanda ran on to the loose ball, took a touch, and then played his shot over the bar. And then there was the other one that James Brown had, where he came in at the back post and probably should have scored. But other than that, County, for all the opportunities they had, not just this half and the other one around the penalty, they didn't do enough with it. And I just look at Dhanda, and as somebody that's coming in, as a Hearts fan, as somebody coming into Hearts, I worry about Dhanda in that, does he just stand out because he plays in like a bottom six club and he's like very kind of good technically? Like his touch is really good. He plays the game with his head up. He can take a really good set piece. But how many times does Dhanda kind of make a goal out of nothing? Like,
it's always set pieces mainly he gets his assists from, isn't it?
Yeah, and I was thinking like, so he's going to come into the Hearts team next season. Might not start. George Grant is improving as this campaign's going along. Barry Mackay's out. He'll be coming back. But just to kind of compare him to Mackay, I mean, if Dhanda's signed to just be a squad player, I'm still perfectly fine with that. But if he
that would be my presumption. That would be my presumption.
If he's signed in mind to start most weeks, I think I look at him and Mackay and I think if you put Barry Mackay into that Ross County team, would they be better off than they are now? And I think the answer is maybe yes.
Yeah, well, I think Barry Mackay certainly does a lot more in a game when the game's moving and the game's live and it's not dead. Dhanda, though, is a squad player, I think maybe quite good. I think Dhanda's quite often, and I think this is maybe part of the reason why he's been used off the bench for Ross County over the years when you're thinking, well, that's a bit weird. He's one of their better players. But he comes off the bench and he can make an impact. And in a more stretched game, a player like that, when they get time, it can be really, really good. So I can see that that's probably where he might not know it. He might not have been told it, but he's probably going to end up being a squad player at Hearts. And to be honest, like he's been on the bench for Ross County. It's not new to him. So it's certainly a move up for him. And I still think if used correctly, he could be useful for Hearts. It's just about not having these wild expectations from Hearts fans when he comes in that he's going to be like an incredible number 10. That's because he's not going to be.
Good luck with that, pal. Good luck with that.
Yeah.